Hi, welcome to Martinis with Nick. Even though it's a sign of the apocalypse, I have asked my wife to provide lunch today, and she has generously accepted the challenge. So we've got a lovely, lovely sweet potato gnocchi going on here. And our guest today is actor Mark Knight, who I think is drinking heavily out there in the dining room.
Likely.
Mark Knight served as resident actor, teacher, and manager at Shakespeare's Globe for 13 years and has devised and run hundreds of workshops on various Elizabethan theater topics. Over the last 50 years, he's performed in hundreds of plays, most recently in local theaters like People's Light, The Arden, Philadelphia Dramatist Center, IRC, Philadelphia Artists Collective, and Ego Poe Classic Theater. But he's perhaps best known for his role as Lord Fear, the nemesis for the British children's game show Nightmare. But today, he's portraying the nemesis of my wife's sweet potato gnocchi. Stay tuned.
Do 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 do. Da 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 da.
Thanks again. Joining us another episode of Martinis with Nick. I'm here with Mark Knight. Mark Knight, welcome.
Thank you very much indeed.
Hello.
Dean and Bob says.
That is the first martini that we've had the whole time we've been here.
Yeah, since one.
That's our very first one.
Absolutely. It's crap.
You spent far too much time working at Shakespeare's Globe. Couldn't you find honest work anywhere else?
No, pretty much not. I mean, I did find dishonest work elsewhere, obviously. And I wasn't working there full time, that's the thing. My gig there was, like all the people I got in to be teachers and actors, and they had to be working actors. So I had to be a working actor. So I was touring, and doing shows and writing new plays and putting them on the fringe. And at the same time, I'd come back and do workshops and lectures and yada, yada, yada. There's a line in one of the Shakespeare plays, "How'd you like it? Write in." And the line refers to a mustache, and the line says, "And he will dabble with his finger in his excrement." Now, excrement back then meant, or could mean, people weren't sure of the word, because words were coming in the language all the time. Excrement could mean anything that your body extrudes or grows.
Right.
So I am told, I didn't see this, but I'm told that when we used the line, "and he dabbles with his finger thus in his excrement," excrement meaning his moustache, Philip went, "Ha!" I'm told that. I heard that noise.
Sure.
And it was like somebody going, "Ha!" And when you're Prince Philip making that noise in front of, in this wide open space, and the thing about the Globe is, it's round, so whoever's on stage everybody can see, but whoever's up there in all the balconies, every other member can see you.
Right.
So when Prince Philip, who's quite tall and loud, does that, the whole of the audience sort of went, "The fuck was that?"
Right.
And then went, "Oh, it's Prince Philip, then it must have been funny."
Right.
He was just laughing at the word excrement. It was Peter Hall, I think, came up with the idea. So Peter Hall used to run the National, and he used to say a punter, in betting terms, is someone who puts money on a horse or a gamble. So it's punting, money is gambling.
So anybody who gambles is
Anybody who comes to a show is risking their money on whether the show will be good or not. It's a punter. Somebody takes a risk when they come to see the show.
That seems overly pessimistic.
No. How many shows have you been to where it's like, fuck, I wish I hadn't put that money down?
Never. That's never happened.
Yeah, I've been to 5 of them with you personally. So that's, and one of them was mine. More than one now I think about it.
Let's say a few of them are mine.
Yeah. I've never been to a show of yours which was crap.
An interview with Mark Knight would not be complete if we did not address your role as Lord Fear of the TV show Nightmare.
Yeah.
And we're at the end of our picture, so this, I think, is just about right.
I need at least another picture. Talk about Lord Fear.
Is that right?
Fuck yeah. And I ain't sharing that shit.
Okay, so there's a kid with a bucket on his head in a green screen room.
Yeah.
And 4 other kids are telling him what to do while they project images of traps and monsters and things in the green screen. So the kid with the bucket is being directed around the traps and the monsters and
Yes.
whatnot. Right.
And also to interact with characters out there.
Sure. So but it's very Dungeons and Dragons inspired.
So I understand.
Right. And you were Lord Fear,
I was.
who was the
opposition.
Not always, but often the antagonist.
I was always known as the opposition. Always.
But there were other bad guys in that series.
Yeah, but then it was me.
Right. I'm sorry. You were the antagonist.
All the bad guys. Once
Right.
Lord Fear came in,
Yes.
so it was written, all the wicked and evil and bad people either served me or I was so powerful they came to be my allies.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, they made Lord Fear out to be the opposition.
Right.
Because when it started, the show, and I wasn't in the show when it started, there was Treguard, played by Hugo. He was brilliant. But he was like both the guide for the kids,
Yes.
and there was something dark and wicked about him.
Complex.
Exactly, right?
Sure.
And then Tim Child, he wrote this show, and he wanted it like that when he started. But then, as things went on, he realised he needed the necessary binary nature of good and evil.
Right.
And so he got evil in, and they got me in.
Now, is Lord Fear a title, or was that the last name of your character?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was called Lord Fear.
Right. Just saying.
Okay, so they paid me money.
Was your name like Eugene
Each
Fear?
week they paid me money and
Like-
they said, "You're Lord Fear,"
Like-
and I went, "Okay."
I'm just saying, were you going through life as Eugene Fear, and someone said, "You have been knighted, now you are Lord Fear,"
I don't think,
or
I think
or
it was self-confirmed.
was your name like Eugene Hermayevitz, and you got the title of Lord Fear?
Backstory of Lord Fear. What I did
Right.
was after we got paid far too much money for doing this.
You got paid an appropriate amount of money.
Well, appropriate, certainly that's a word, not appropriate in this case. But so I would go home and I would say to myself, as an actor does,
Yes.
I would say,
Actors
"What-
do this.
No, well, this is what I do as an actor, as a serious actor.
Please.
Classically trained.
Right.
I would go
I'm
back,
with you.
and also method.
You are method.
The method.
Beard alone, yeah.
I have a method. Look.
Yeah, I see that. You
I
got that
have
beard
a
just for this
method.
interview.
Grow
I hear
beard,
you.
shave
Sure.
off.
Okay.
So I would go into the method, the classical, and I would say to myself, what is my character? What does my character need?
Right.
But before that, then I would realise we have to go back to where does my character come from?
Right.
Not just before the scene. I would say and I would say to myself, for example, am I Gene Aramovich?
Right.
And now I am Lord Fear. Why would I call myself Lord? I didn't do any of this shit. I
No?
mean, look,
What?
I would get to Norwich where we were filming. Somebody would give me money for it's your living expenses, which was a wad of notes. Thank you, Sue Child, by the way, who would hand that money out, and Tim for making the production company work as it did. And then they would give me that money, and also money would go to my agent, who would take the money and say, "You get this much."
Right.
And then here's your script, as Lord Fear, and that
It was scripted?
Lord Fear was scripted.
Huh.
Now, the interactions of other characters I played several characters in it, where I would interact live with the kids. Those were not scripted. It would be like, you have to try and sell this kid a gold coin so that we can scar kill later. Or find out from the kid what it's got and yada yada yada. And whatever decision the kid with the bucket on his head and the 4 kids. I know that bucket was a joke, but it's green screen. They can't see the green screen. It's actually blue screen in England then.
Right.
It's not green.
Right,
Anyway,
they don't have green in England.
oh,
I understand.
So I would busk with these kids. But the thing was, I'd be making this stuff up.
Sure.
And so you just have to come up with a funny character. Kid with a bucket comes towards you and you go, hello darling, all right, lovey. And I do this ridiculous character. And that was Rothbury the Apothecary. Very often theatre sucks because we think it's so cool to do theatre. I hate the cognoscenti, the people who go to theatre and go, yeah, I love theatre, I understand this. And 90% of the people who go to theatre are going, nah, it's bollocks. If you take some debauched mad time and say, that's like now, I'm with you. But putting it down for a page in the programme and selling that to the punters, the audience, and saying, this is why we need to do theatre to comment on our time. Good, if you're commenting on our time. But if you need that page in the programme to make this play work, get out of my face. This is my face, fuck off out of it. I don't like it. And that's the problem with theatre. Very often, it's such a tiny community, the cognoscenti, like with Shakespeare, that if you're going to talk about Shakespeare like everybody knows what you're talking about, do not piss on my shoes and tell me it's raining. It's failing, because most of the people out there are going, yeah, I know about Shakespeare, it's boring. And it mostly is. That's why most theatre sucks, because we treat it with too much reverence. We treat it like, oh, it's so important and wonderful. And a lot of the time it's a load of bollocks, and I know there are people out there who do like a good load of bollocks, but not so much for me. Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question.
I think so.
Well, on that note, let's tie this thing up. Thanks again for seeing my crappy show, Martinis with Nick. Thanks again to my special guest here, Mark Knight. And stay tuned after the credits to see Mark Knight's hidden talent.
Oh, flew in from Miami Beach, BOAC, didn't get to bed last night. On the way, the paperback is on my knee. Man, I had a dreadful flight on my USSR. You know how lucky you are, boys, back in the USSR. Thank you very much. Pitching stuff here, they're cheeky.